Hey everybody, it's Miss Griffin. Today we're going to practice rounding to the nearest 10 and to the nearest 100. Let's take a look. Here we have the number 34. We're going to round it to the nearest 10. An easy and clear way to see how we're going to round it is to create a number line. We know that 34 is in between the numbers 30 and 40. Let's fill in all the numbers in between to see which one 34 is closest to. Let's start at 34 and count the spaces until we reach 40. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 spaces in between 34 and 40. Now, let's go back to 34 and count the spaces between 34 and 30. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 spaces between 34 and 30. Therefore, 34 is closer to 30 than it is to 40. When we're rounding 34 to the nearest 10, it's going to be 30. Let's try another number. Here's the number 67. We know that 67 is between 60 and 70. Let's add in all the numbers in between and then find 67. Now we're going to count the spaces up to 70. Are you ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 spaces between 67 and 70. Now let's go back to 67 and count the spaces between 67 and 60. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 spaces between 67 and 60. Remember, there were only 3 spaces between 67 and 70. So when you round 67 to the nearest 10, you get 70. Great job rounding to the nearest 10, everybody. We can also use this when rounding to the nearest 100. Let me show you. Here we have the number 291. I want to round it to the nearest 100. We know that the number 291 is between 200 and 300. Because we're rounding to the nearest 100, when we make our number line, we're going to have our numbers go up by tens instead of ones. We'll still be counting the spaces between by ones, though. You might be confused because you don't see the number 291 on this number line at all. That's okay. We're rounding to the nearest 100, so we only need to look at and match the hundreds column and the tens column right now. Let's start at 290 because the hundreds column and the tens column match that of 291. There's only 1 space between 290 and 300. Let's count the spaces between 290 and 200. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 spaces between 290 and 200, but only 1 between that number and 300. Therefore, 290 and 291 both round up to 300. Let's try one more. We have the number 348. Let's round it to the nearest 100. We know that 348 is between 300 and 400. Here is our number line with numbers going up by tens. Remember, because we're rounding up to the nearest 100, we look at the hundreds column and the tens column. Let's start at 340 and count up to 400. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 spaces between 340 and 400. Now let's count the other way, from 340 back down to 300. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are only 4 spaces between 340 and 300. Therefore, 340 and 348 are closer to 300. 348 rounded to the nearest hundred is 300. Great job working on your rounding today, everybody. I love you, stay safe, and have a great rest of your day. Bye!